Hello, you guys. Carmen here. If we have not met, I am the creator of the Myofunctional Therapy Training Academy. I also created the Myo Mastery Program. Today I'm here to talk about efficiency. This is one of the biggest things that I preach, teach, practice, really work with my students as well as my private coaching clients on how to be more efficient, how to create things, systems in your business, in your myofunctional therapy business that make you better, okay? It saves you time. It saves you from having to spend hours preparing for clients, that kind of stuff. So today specifically, I want to talk about how I changed my procedures last year to make myself way more efficient and take the information that I get from a free assessment into kind of just snowball that into my comprehensive exam. Now, just real quick, a rundown of what my process looks like, and this is what I teach. I recommend always that we start with a free assessment, and that gives you a chance to meet your clients. That's what I use my free assessment for, to meet the person. They can see what it's like to do online therapy with me. We can make sure that our personality is a match. I turn away a lot of clients from doing therapy because they're just personality not a great match for me, okay? So that's really, really important. But I use the free assessment to answer questions, see if it makes sense for them to move on to a paid exam. I never want somebody to pay money for an exam and then me tell them they're fine. Now, that's never happened, and I doubt that it ever will, because by the time somebody gets to me, they're at the end of their rope, okay? They know that they have concerns. But that's really what the free assessment is for, to make sure, that they're going to show up. They have to jump through a couple hoops. They have to fill out some paperwork, that kind of stuff. I made changes last year, and I started using something that I call a discovery checklist, okay? I've got all sorts of scribbles on here, but basically it is, you can see here, it's just a checklist where people, so if they make a free appointment with me, they have to fill this out. So it just comes with a bunch of X's on it, okay? They have filled out this paperwork. They give me something to talk about. And what I have discovered is a huge difference in my business is it allows me to talk with somebody about why they have concerns, where I see problems, why it makes sense for them to move on to an exam. When I took my initial training, basically I was taught anybody who doesn't have proper tongue posture, mouth posture, proper breathing, or proper swallow can benefit from myofunctional therapy. And while that is the case, people don't necessarily want to hear your generic reasons. They want to know what you're saying, why they will benefit from working with you. So when I implemented this discovery checklist, I did it so that I could have more information about people. When somebody would make an appointment with me, I could see, just some random answers or, just a little bit of information. But in my system, they get their email confirmation, and there's a link that takes them to a page on my website where they actually download this and fill it out. I have them fill out, for adults, they fill out their Epworth Sleepiness Scale, the fatigue severity scale, pediatric sleep questionnaire for youth. So those are all things. I get tons and tons of information, and that's really why we're having this conversation, is because it's all about efficiency. So I have somebody's discovery checklist. In their free assessment, we're talking about why it makes sense for them. I just got done meeting somebody. I could see she had tons of digestive issues. She had tons of breathing issues. She had upper body tension. She had speech problems. All of these things that are saying, hey, I think there's a potential for a tongue tie. I also knew her tongue was in the wrong spot. She wasn't breathing correct. She had a tongue thrust. She had difficulty swallowing. And texture issues. So all of those things I looked at. So how I got more and more efficient to the point where I really feel like I have dialed it in now, which is why I wanted to talk about this, so you can create something like this. Because when somebody moves on to their paid comprehensive exam, okay, originally when I started my practice, I was spending an hour and a half to 2 hours with somebody doing their exam. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of time to spend with somebody, not only for you as the therapist or for me, but also for them. It's kind of like going to the dental office and being a new patient and being there for 2 hours, okay? So I needed to find different ways to be efficient in how I gathered my information. So what I have found is we don't need to reinvent the wheel, you guys. If you already know information that comes from their discovery checklist or whatever you call it that you want to create, you already know that information. So I'm able to take that information and start working on their report before their exam, okay? And so now I have it where I spend an hour with somebody for their exam. They don't have to do their discovery checklist twice, just once. They send me, of course, an assortment of pictures. They send me videos, all of that stuff. So I get that prior to their exam. And then I look at that information. I've already started my report because I already have their discovery checklist. I already know what percentage of the time they're nasal breathing and mouth breathing and all of this stuff. So then when it is time for my comprehensive exam and I've got the client in front of me, I need to do things like determine patent nasal passages. How are they breathing? Do I see that shallow thoracic breathing? We get to have more conversation time because I've already gotten everything in their report. Literally, by the time I spend an hour with somebody, I complete their exam, I can take another 10 minutes and send their report. And their report is solid 2 pages. Sometimes it's even longer, but it's generally 2 pages with me. And so I love that I have been able to be efficient that way because I don't have to prepare so much for an exam. And I don't have to spend so much time after because yes, we want to be incredible therapists. Yes, we don't want to we don't want to miss anything. But from a business standpoint, you guys, you can't spend 3 hours for one client for $150 or $200. You just can't do it. You've got a business to grow. So finding ways to be more efficient and more effective totally makes sense. So that's how I came about using the discovery checklist. And it was literally just everything that I need to gather, every piece of information I need to gather, and putting it on a checklist so they can exit off. And then I know, and people really love that when we have a conversation, they meet me for the first time. I know that they have sleep concerns. I know they have anxiety. I know that they had trouble with, the S sound. I know that they did speech therapy as a child. So these are all things. So in my eyes, it makes people feel like they matter. And that really, really makes a difference because then they go on to do therapy with me. So there you have it. I hope that helps. If you put this into practice, I would love to know how it works for you, or if you love it, or if you have any other efficiency tips. So I will see you next time where I will be talking about a hot question or something that really helps me be a better, more efficient therapist. So I will see you next time.